let's go ahead and kick off our very first prediction for the 12-team playoff bracket. This is what makes the season so great, dude. This is what is going to draw so many eyes because for a decade, I said I'm tired of there only being 4 teams that can have a stake at hoisting
Same.
the championship. There's
Same.
always legit 8 to 10. And in this case, with
Mhm.
with the portal activity, with the shakeup of the season, I believe there are 12 to 14 teams that are going to be very good this year, or at least be in conversations to make a push
Oh,
to that
yeah.
national championship. Let's
Sure.
start at 12 and go up to 1. Starting with you first, the number 12 team for the first ever 12-team playoffs that we're going to see in 2025. Who do you expect it to be?
So, I expect this season the 12th spot to go to one of the Big 5, conference winners, whether that be, SWAC, AAC, whatever small conference it is.
Yeah.
Um, but I have it going to them. And I think Liberty's gonna prove us again why they're the Conference USA champions of last year. I think they're gonna get that 12th spot because that's what if they're not ranked at like number 8 or number 7 by the time the CFP bracket comes out, they're gonna go to 12. Whoever's the 12th or 13th team, if they're not a conference winner, that spot goes to them. That's just how it is
Yeah.
in the new rules. But
Yeah.
so I got
It's kind of
Liberty at that
interesting how
spot
those
for that
work out
reason.
too.
Yeah, it's just so that whole Cincinnati UCF debacle doesn't happen ever again. They
Yeah.
need everybody to be represented, and we don't
Yeah.
we don't want to see that ever again. We really don't.
Michael
Or not
Darby.
me anyway.
Right. Michael Darby coming in on a comment. 4 to 12 is such a huge jump, but that's always been one of my biggest problems with football. 4 is too few. Yeah, 100% agree, man. You tuned in at the
100%.
perfect time. I cannot wait to see 12 teams be able to vie at the spot. I love the way that the conference champions are getting put in. I think the only um I guess problem I have is the fact that a 5th conference champion will by default be the 12th one, no matter
Yeah,
their ranking, and I'm
I
just
can
like,
understand.
I think you should just stick with the top 4 if they're gonna have the buys. Let that be the 4 conference champions that are ranked the highest and let it roll. At number 12, I'm gonna have Penn State. I'm gonna have
Heard
Penn
that.
State as the number 12 team in the very first ever 12-team playoff for college football. Again, we're looking for that offensive coordinator to come in and stretch this offense. The quarterback last year was very solid, and Penn State's earned a lot of respect to get to the point that they're at right now in the current rankings, and I can see them sticking it out and being a top 12 team. Who do you have at number 11?
Number 11, I've got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Ooh,
I
okay.
think it's his second season as a head coach. You got Riley Leonard coming in. You're fresh off
Yeah.
that big win off over Clemson next year, and if you manage to beat somebody like a Florida State this season, like a big name opponent that you're supposed to play, that's only going to give you more. So
Right.
I could definitely see Notre Dame getting a key win over a big opponent like that, and you know how they're a media darling when it comes to the ranking. They're like
Mhm.
an Oklahoma and Ohio State in that respect.
Yeah.
But I see Notre Dame in the 11 spot for sure.
Heard that. The team that worked the hardest this year to get that recruiting class to where it's at. Give me Miami at number 11. They
Heard
got a
that.
lot to prove. They got a lot to do. They got a lot of new talent in there, and Mario Cristobal's got to turn it around. But hey, we've seen
Hmm.
guys like Steve Sarkisian, we've seen guys like Kalen DeBoer
Oh yeah,
build a program up, take them far.
Mike
Maybe that's what's
Norvell.
going to happen this year. Exactly, Mike Norvell,
Oh,
Kirby Smart. We've seen what those other coaches have gotten their teams to, and I think this could be the year for Mario Cristobal to take the leap. I've got Miami at number
absolutely.
11, number 10.
Ole Miss.
Ooh, okay,
I
okay.
like
I've got
I
Ole Miss
like
floating around in here as well.
I like Ole Miss there because not only do we have Lane Kiffin, he's a
Yeah,
proven winner, but
yeah,
we also have a lot of transfer portal activity through them. So that's
right.
only going to bolster them. I don't think they come out of the SEC conference champions, and obvious because I have them at number 10 here, but
Mhm.
um, I think they are convincing enough and have a good enough amount of key wins under their belt to advocate that number 10 spot.
Number 10, LSU. Brian Kelly, mentioned him earlier.
I love it.
Garrett Nussmeier is still going to be inserted into a great offense. They pull over the defensive coordinator from Missouri. So it feels like LSU shores up the worst part of their team last year.
Yeah.
And we know the defenses that Mizzou has held it down with. The offense, being in the SEC, knowing what they've done in recent years, knowing that they've produced the quarterback talent. I'm not saying Nussmeier is going to be like Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow, because
Oh
those
yeah,
guys
no.
those guys were fantastic. They literally damn near played the same when it came to the numbers. I want to
Absolutely.
say Jaden Daniels even had more yards per play than
He
Burrow.
did.
Not here to debate that though. Exactly. So I've got LSU at number 10. I still think they're going to make a lot of noise this year. At number 9.
Number 9, I have the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Okay.
I
Okay,
think
that's fair.
Kalen DeBoer gets in that bracket in his first season, and I think
Mhm.
it could go up from there for him.
Yeah.
I'm not on that Kalen DeBoer hate train that a lot of people are on right now. It's like, "Oh, he's not
Right.
Saban." I'm
Well,
like, "Yeah,
clearly.
but he's a proven winner." I mean, he's a great recruiter, he's a quarterback whisperer, as we've seen. He'd helped develop Michael Penix into what he became. And I think he's just going to do great things for Alabama. And they got enough people coming back, and they got a Jalen Milrow. He's got wheels. He's got the deep ball.
Yep.
He, they're a threat.
Yeah. Yeah, Alabama's still gonna be solid, dude. I'm excited to see how they're revamped, but they're still gonna be lethal in my opinion. At number 9, I got Michigan. They're repeating, the defending
Nice.
national champions. Alex Orji, again, I'm very excited about him. Sharon Moore, what's he going to do with this team? We know the defense is intact. Again, we know that they still contain some of the best players in the country at certain positions. They still have that smash mouth run game with Donovan Edwards
Hmm.
spearheading it. I got a lot of respect for Michigan. I don't expect them to be any better than number 9, but if Sharon Moore and Alex Orji come out in the first 2-3 weeks and they're showing us something that none of us expected, or Alex Orji is what I'm expecting him to be, very well can count Michigan in. At number 8,
To to a surprise, I got the Michigan Wolverines at number 8.
there you go.
The defending champs, like you said. You hit the nail on the head with Donovan Edwards and Sharon Moore. I think they make a run for it. I don't think necessarily they win it again, but I definitely see them at that number 8 spot at the end of the season.
Yeah. At number 8, this is where I'm going to have Ole Miss. I don't think you can deny what Ole Miss is bringing to the table. They have that stacked roster. Yes, they do lose Quinshon Judkins, but they do have, Jackson Dart in the mix. They do
Yep,
have plenty of talent in the mix, and Ole Miss has earned their respect as well. So I think they will be the number 8 team in the first ever 12-team playoff bracket. At number 7, who you got?
Clemson Tigers.
Ooh, a team I don't have in my top 12.
Right. The reason I have Clemson in the top 12 is because they are going to do very well in conference play next year, I think, because they're Clemson.
Right,
They've always been consistent the past, I'd say, 10 years
right.
in the ACC. So, and they won it 8 times in the last 10 years, I think.
Yeah,
So, I, I'm I got them in there. They're going to have great wins against key, uh, big win opponents. That kind of thing. I don't think they win it or anything like that, but
yeah.
they're definitely in there.
Yeah, Clemson's just not a team that I'm high on, man, at all,
A lot of
at
people
all,
aren't,
at
and it's
all.
understandable.
Yeah, I got
There's
to
a
see
lot of
more out of Cade.
controversy around that right now.
Yeah, I want to see more out of Cade Klubnik, but again, this is what's beautiful about the sport and especially college football is there's gonna be someone that no one expects to mess this top 12 up.
Oh
And
yeah,
what's gonna be even funnier is they probably won't make the top 12. They'll just be pesky enough to keep your favorite team out of there.
yeah,
And it's going to be totally justifiable because I personally believe the 12-team playoff is the best playoff format college football's ever seen.
I agree.
It's great. You cannot
More
mess it up.
football, the better.
Exactly. We will never complain about that. At number 7, give me Alabama. Y'all know how I feel about
I love
Alabama.
it. I love it.
I don't think this team is going, really anywhere in a negative way. I believe that Alabama is still going to be a very solid team offensively, defensively. People still want to play for this team. It's not like just because Nick Saban walks out the building that the pedigree is gone as well. Jalen Milrow will probably be in Heisman conversations. They still have Jam Miller.
Hmm.
They still have an excellent running back room. They still have rookie wide receivers that are going to impress this year. Give me Alabama at number 7. We're now into the top 6 of the first ever 12-team playoff that we're predicting for 2025. Who you got?
I got Texas at number 6.
Ooh, that's fair.
Yeah. You
That's
got
fair.
I mean, they're gonna do well in their SEC schedule next year. I think they're gonna fit right in. You saw how they were playing last year. You saw them beat Alabama. You saw them
Yeah.
almost beat Washington. Their offense was just a little bit more skilled. You had people like Romo Dunze back there that can catch damn near anything.
Yep.
So they were a problem. That's why they went to that natty.
Right.
Texas was like just a few key plays away from getting there themselves.
Right.
And then you got Steve Sarkisian, uh, a Nick Saban understudy, man. Come on.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
So they're solidified at number 6 for me.
Yeah. Texas. I. Something keeps telling me we're going to see Texas in the national championship. I don't know what it is.
You could. You very
I
well
was
could.
almost convinced. Am I crazy for saying they could win the SEC?
No, not entirely. I wouldn't combat you too much. I don't agree,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we got a lot to see for sure. At number 6, I got Oregon. Dan Lanning is one of the
respectable.
best young
Respectable.
budding head coaches in college football. Dylan Gabriel coming in is clearly going to be a very great addition. We know what Oregon has been. We know the program that they have become, and more than anything, I don't think this is going to be a team that disappoints. I've comfortably got them at number 6. Number 5.
Number 5, I got the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Wow.
Yep.
At number 5. Okay. Outside of the top
The
3.
reason why I got them outside of the top 4 conference championship winners is because they're going to lose a game they shouldn't. They're
Yeah.
gonna lose a big one, whether it's to Michigan, whether it's to Oregon, whether it's to whoever, they're gonna lose
Right.
it,
Right.
and that's why I got them at number 5. They're and they could make a case to get to the national championship still, in my
For
opinion.
sure.
They're a
For
loaded
sure.
team. They got
For
Judkins.
sure.
I mean, he's OP. So
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs is
Judkins and
OP.
Caleb Downs
And then
in
Ryan
the same
Day's
portal
got
is
a
stupid.
monkey on his back that he's gotta get off.
Yep.
He's gotta get that big one.
It's like
So
he's a new Kirby Smart.
right, exactly. He's gotta win that
Yep.
big one. It's like they were
Yep.
talking to Bobby Bowden before he won his first championship. He's like, "Do you feel any different after you won the big one?" I don't,
Right.
you know? So, uh,
Right.
I got Ohio State at number 5. I'm riding with it.
Heard that. No problems at all. I've got Texas at number 5. This is going to be a fantastic offense to look after. We've got Steve Sarkisian, who's done a fantastic job over the last couple of years. Quinn Ewers as well. Arch Manning is in the quarterback room. Also, we saw Texas hang with some great teams. We're going to see Texas play Georgia this year. They do
Mhm.
get welcome to the SEC. Some people might think Texas is too high at 5, but Texas Texas has come onto the scene and provided a lot of nice talent in the NFL. And
I'm with you.
I think Texas will float in the 5 to 8 range, but I don't think it's a question of them being a top 12 team. Now we're in the top 4. This is where our conference champions come in. If you don't mind, when you go from 4 to 1, obviously we'll take it one at a time. Let me know which conference this team is the champion of at number
Right.
4.
So, originally at my number 4 spot, I wrestled with this one quite a bit, and
Uh huh.
my number 4 spot is from the Big 12. Because I think they're just a slight bit lower than the ACC, just in my opinion. And then we know it's the Big 10 and the SEC after that, uh, as far as strength of schedule and all that goes.
Yeah.
At first, many people wouldn't have liked that pick, and I didn't like it after I looked at it a few times. So I ended up changing it, and I got the Oklahoma State Cowboys at number 4 because
What? This is the
uh,
one you took a leap of faith on.
yes, the reason why I did that is because not only are they a conference championship, I think they're a conference championship winner because they went last year.
Yeah.
It is Oklahoma State. You know what you're getting with Mike Gundy. He's not
Yeah.
gonna, you can make a case for same with like Kansas State. You can make a case for
Yeah.
them. They won it a few years ago. You can make a case for
Right.
TCU. You can make a case for even Utah. They beat those SEC opponents.
Right.
At first, that's who I had was the Utes. I had them having a good time in their first season in the Big 12, but I changed
Uh-huh.
it after the fact because I was like, I think Oklahoma State could get back there. I think they could get the job done. Now, I see them getting bounced after that, but, you know,
He said, "I don't
I
see them going very far."
I don't see them going very far, no, but because those first 4 spots go to those conference champions, that's why.
Yeah,
They get that bye. You win your championship, you get the bye week. That's the rules.
yeah. Yeah, see, I'll see if you see what's missing from my top 12 once we get through it. At number 4, I've got Notre Dame. I'm hoping I did
Independent.
this correctly. Yes, FBS independent champs. I
Mhm.
believe they're going to come out of that division just fine. I hope I did that correctly. I don't know if I did, and this is where you might see if you're catching what I didn't put in here. I don't have a
Yeah.
Big 12 champion, bro. I don't expect a Big 12 team or
Mhm.
champion to be in here. I'm not about Utah. I'm not about Oklahoma State.
I hear you. I'm not
And when
either,
I get
but
and when I get through my top 12, I think Notre Dame will fare better than those other teams. I've got Notre Dame at number 4. They
if we were
have
doing the
again a
best 12 teams, I would have a completely different list. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Well,
yeah, I actually had to do my
aside
best
from
12
5,
teams.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, those
Yeah.
would stay the same.
Yeah.
But 12, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, or they would probably change up a little bit. Not even gonna
Right.
lie to you. But because we
Right.
have the conference, championship winner platform now,
Mhm.
it is what it is, and I like the rule, to be honest with you. It keeps people from
Yeah.
getting cheated
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's fair. I've got Notre Dame at number 4. I think Riley Leonard is a guy that's got a ton of potential. Like I said earlier in the show, these guys have a great roster, and Notre Dame, I think, is just going to make a lot of noise in this college football season, and I'm excited to see
Oh,
what they're
yeah.
able to do as the season moves on. At number 3,
Number 3, the FSU Seminoles.
yes,
I think I
sir.
think we win that ACC championship and run it back. We got something to prove.
Oh yeah, y'all got everything to prove, and if y'all are in the Natty, I'm gonna say when y'all are in the Natty for the sake of y'all, we gonna watch it together, brother, and we're gonna come right on here and have an
Fact.
instant reaction. So your ass can go crazy, and the only way I would wish for that is if it's my dogs losing to y'all, because I want my dogs to be in the national championship
Absolutely.
every single year. I've got Florida
Likewise
State
with
at
you.
I've got Florida State at number 3, the ACC champs. I think this is the team to beat in the ACC. Again, the most pissed off team in college football. DJU's got something to prove. Roy Dell Williams, Mike Norvell is ready to put all the pieces together and show why the 12-team playoff was meant for a team like Florida State. The top 2, here we go. Number 2.
Oregon.
Ooh, my
I
boy's got
think
Oregon well up there. You had Oregon much higher than me, and
they win
you had Ohio State a good bit
I
lower
think
than me
they win the
too.
Big Ten, brother. I think they win
Yeah,
the Big Ten because I think
yeah,
they win that or not Michigan, but I think they win that Ohio State game. I think
right.
they could definitely do it. And if they could beat somebody like that, they could beat everybody else.
Yep,
So, and we saw Oregon playing really good ball against people last year. I mean, they dropped the bag 2 times to the
yep.
same team,
Right.
Washington. And they were just the
Y
better team, both on
yeah,
paper and on the field.
right.
Nothing to be mad at. Bo Nix made a Heisman run,
Bo Nix is gonna be so good in the NFL. I
I
don't care
agree.
what anyone
I agree.
says.
I'm
I'm so excited to see Bo Nix, and not even because Sean Payton is his coach. He just played so well under Dan Lanning.
absolutely, and Dan Lanning, to mention, he comes from that Mike Norvell tree, and he worked with Kirby Smart.
Exactly, bro.
He was a
Exactly.
he worked under Mike at Memphis, and they were great there. So Dan is an electric coach. He gets his guys to show up for him every game, and he's smart.
Yep.
I think they make a case for that national championship next year.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sky's the limit.
Yeah, Oregon is going to be so damn fun to watch. At number 2, I've got Ohio State. They're gonna be the Big Ten champions. Quinshon Judkins, Will
Respect it.
Howard, Caleb Downs. Ryan Day's got it to prove. We've talked about it all show. We've talked about it all offseason. Everybody knows why Ohio State is at the number 2 spot. Those are the Big Ten champions. And I know we both collectively have at number 1
UGA Bulldogs.
the Georgia Bulldogs, the SEC champions, and we
Look,
don't
man,
think
they didn't win 2 in a row for no reason,
exactly. Exactly.
and it's
Kirby
Kirby
Smart's the
Smart,
best.
man.
Exactly. Kirby
He's
Smart
the
is the best coach
A lot of
in
people say
college
he's the
football.
second coming of Saban, and I'm like, huh? He's on the track.
Ah, I don't know. Second coming to save is a little
That's
crazy.
a stretch. Oh, I agree. Like,
Yeah,
I can't push back on it too much because I'm like,
right. I
well, he's
mean,
got a back to back already. So did
yeah,
Saban.
he's
So
he's he's on his way if he stays in it for
if
another,
he stays
decade or
consistent,
so.
yeah, if he stays
Uh-huh.
consistent, he could be up
Yep.
there with the Paternos, the Bowdens, the Saban, he
Right.
could be up there with the GOATs.
Right. I'm not gonna say he's got 5 to go, but, he could catch him for sure.
Yeah.
But
That
I don't know. I'm still like I'm still wary. I'm like, "We got 2, but I need more.
Oh,
I need more.
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
need
You
more."
want that from your team, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
100%.
so
100%.
y'all were dry for so long,
I know. Mark Richt
you
could
got
not
that
get us over
taste
the
of it.
hump.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and poor Mark, he just kept, I blame his coordinators mostly,
Yep.
because that first stint with I think it was Mike Bobo, you know,
Yep.
y'all almost had it and you lost
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
If y'all
I
would have
think
beat Bama in 2012, man, y'all could have won that natty, man. I
we should have
firmly
dropped that
believe
pass,
that. I
bro. I'll
firmly
never
believe
forget
that.
watching that. We should have dropped that
I was
pass
like,
when it bounced off bro's back.
y'all kissed it goodbye right there.
Yep. Kirby's done well though.
Yep.
We've had 5 opportunities. We've lost 3 SEC championships. We've won or no, I think we've lost 2. We've won 3. We've won 2 natties and we lost 1 natty in
Yeah.
terms of SEC championships first and then national championships.